Hello students, welcome to YouTube channel Vidya for Success. Dear students, in this video, let us study a new type of frequency distribution referred as normal distribution, a very popular one. So, what is normal distribution? So, in real life, a lot of problems, maybe business related or economic activity or else related to personal life, all these problems, they can be considered for normal distribution. How, sir? For example, if I ask what is the distribution of weights of students present in a particular class, their weights vary from, some of them may be, let us say 50 kilo, some of them may be 55 kilo, some of them may be 80, 90 kilo, 92 kilo. So, there is range of values. Similarly, if I consider what will be the intake of air? So, do we intake air in a normal rate? No. Sometimes we depends upon the work done. Sometimes we will be take too much air. Sometimes we will we will be in exhaling the air at a different proportion. It all changes. Similarly, what will be the salary of employees belonging to a particular organization? You cannot precisely say everyone will be getting 15,000 salary. No, there will be a variation in their salary. Similarly, if someone asks what will be the price of a particular article in different places, you cannot go with a fixed value. It will change. It will take a range of values. So, whenever problems deal with range of values, both there will be have to consider both lower limit and upper limit, then such all problems can be easily solved, or all of them will come under normal distribution. So, here a normal distribution is also referred as a bell curve distribution. Okay, so we will discuss later on all those things, but normal distribution is very important and it is of much usage in real life problem solving. So, here in the previous classes we have studied different distributions. What are the different distributions we have studied? We have studied Bernoulli, binomial, Poisson, hypergeometric distribution. All these distributions we were considering random variable x, and this random variable x used to consider a value, maybe small x, a value. For example, what will be the height of a student? Height of a student is, for example, 150 centimeters. It will consider a value. But now, what will be the height of students of a particular class? Then you need to consider both lower limit and upper limit. You cannot go with only one value. So, there will be a lower limit as well as there will be an upper limit. You need to consider both the ends. Nothing but what x is here? X is a variable. It is not a discrete variable. It is a continuous variable. Okay, what it is? It is a continuous variable. It will take a range of value. Okay, so that's why here what is normal distribution? So, if x is a random variable, x is a random variable. Again, what type of random variable it is? Is it discrete? No, x is a continuous random variable. Continuous random variable with, please observe here, with probability density function f of x is equivalent to 1 by sigma square root of 2 pi e to the power minus half into x minus mu divided by sigma square, where x takes value from greater than or equal to minus infinity to less than or equal to infinity, where the value of x can range between minus infinity to plus infinity, and sigma will always be greater than 0, then what? Then this random variable x, is a what? Is a normal variate. And what about its distribution? One student may be 150 centimeters height, another may be 190 centimeter, another one 180 centimeters height. So their height will change. So what is this distribution indicating? And distribution and its distribution is called normal distribution. What it is called? It is called normal distribution. So here I have defined what is a normal distribution. So what is a normal distribution? If x is a continuous random variable, what is continuous? It won't take a value in the given range, but what it takes? It takes a band of value, a range of value. There will be a lower limit, there will be upper limit. So x is a continuous random variable with probability density function. We are not considering probability mass function. When we were discussing about discrete random variable, we were talking about probability mass function, but now we are having a density. One curve will be there under which there will be an area. We need to complete that area. That's why we need to go with probability density function f of x, not p of x. F of x is equal to 1 by sigma root of 2 pi, square root of 2 pi into e to the power minus half into x minus mu by sigma whole square, where what is the value of x? X will take value from minus infinity to plus infinity, and what is the sigma value? Sigma is greater than 0, then x is a normal variate and its distribution is called normal distribution. Okay, so this is the definition. Please notice here, this normal distribution is a very important distribution not only to the field of statistics, it is also having its application in the field of mathematics, and also it is used heavily in the field of physics. This particular distribution is also, normal distribution is also referred as a Gaussian distribution, G-A-U-S-S-I-A-N, Gaussian distribution. It was developed by Professor Gauss. So that's why it is also referred as Gaussian distribution. So here let us continue our study. The normal distribution, it's having two parameters. What are those two parameters? The first parameter is mu, that is mean. The second parameter is sigma, that is variance. Okay, so sorry, standard deviation. Mu and sigma is standard deviation. So these are the parameters of normal distribution. Okay, so what are the parameters of normal distribution? The parameters of normal distribution are mu and sigma. These are the parameters. So let us continue our study. Next, here let me once again consider the probability density function of the normal distribution, that is f of x is equal to 1 by sigma into square root of 2 pi into e to the power minus half into x minus mu divided by sigma whole square. Already I told you what is the value of x. The value of x ranges between minus infinity to plus infinity, and what is sigma? Always greater than 0. Okay, here let us understand what is the value of pi. Here the value of pi is 3.1416. Along with that, what is the value of E? The value of E is equivalent to 2.7183. Okay. So, here the value of pi and the value of E, they are both of them are constant. For each and every problem, these values they remain same. There is no change in these values. That's why they are constant. You need to memorize them. You need to remember them. Okay. So, this is the probability density function. Okay. So, I was telling you, here we will be considering a normal curve. Normal distribution is also referred as Gaussian distribution. It will be also referred as probability curve. We will consider a probability curve, or we will also consider a normal curve. So, the normal curve will look like this. It will look like this. Okay. So, what is here x? The value of x can range from minus infinity to plus infinity. So, the area which comes under all the complete curve, it is the area of the normal distribution. Always this area will be either 1 or it will be 100%. Okay. The area of the normal curve will be either 1 or 100%. Either you can represent it as 1 or you can represent it as 100%. If you observe this particular normal curve, please notice here how it is looking. It is looking like a bell, isn't it? So, that is why normal curve, it resembles a bell shape. That is why it is also referred as bell shaped curve. Okay. Next, with this limited knowledge, let us move on and study some of the important concepts. Okay. Before that, let me take up example for normal distribution. I will read out. Height of students of a college. A college will be having n number of students. Whether all these students' height will come under a particular value, whether all of the students will be having the height 6 feet. No, some of them will be 4.5 feet, some of them may be 4 feet, some of them may be 6 point some feet, maybe 5 point something. So, it is not a fixed value. It ranges from lower limit to upper limit. It will be having both limits will be there. Okay. So, that is why it follows a normal distribution. Okay. Next, followed by that, second example, weights of apples grown in an orchard. In an orchard, there may be n number of apples. Is it possible for us to say every apple is exactly 250 grams? No, not at all. Third example, lifetime of an electric bulb. Beautiful. Electric bulb, what is the lifetime of it? Can you exactly say this particular purchased bulb is going to be having a lifetime of only 3 years, or is 1 year or 1.5 year? No, you can't say that. The lifetime may be a range. You cannot say that. You cannot precisely say what is the lifetime. Minus infinity to plus infinity. It can consider any value. So, like this. Similarly, what will be the income of employees working for a particular organization? Let us say there are 100 employees. Whether all the 100 employees are drawing same salary? No. Some of them may be salary may be 12,000, some of them may be 17, 15,000, 20,000, some of them may be drawing 1 lakh rupees. So, there is a range of values. Nothing but here the random variable consider a range of values, both there will be up lower limit and as well as there will be an upper limit. So, these are the best examples which suits normal distribution, and all these examples they come in our what to say day to day life. That is why always we will be studying any of the phenomena problem with the help of normal distribution. That is why it is having a highest significance in statistics. Okay. Next, now let us study the properties of normal distribution, which is very, very important. Okay. So, properties of normal distribution. So, what are the properties of normal distribution? Already I told you what is a normal distribution. Normal distribution will be having will be having how many parameters? Will be having two parameters. Okay, normal distribution will be having two parameters. What are those parameters? The one is mu and another one is sigma. These are the parameters of normal distribution. Next, followed by this, what is the probability curve of a normal distribution? How it looks? Please notice here on a xy plane, if you consider the normal distribution will be a bell shaped curve. Will be a bell shaped curve. Please notice here. Okay, it is a bell shaped curve. This is another thing you need to understand here. Next, followed by this, the first property, normal distribution or the probability distribution, it is a normal curve. Followed by that, the first property of normal distribution is the normal curve is bell shaped. Already I told you what is a bell shaped. Okay, to notice it, this complete curve, it looks like a bell. That's why it is a bell shaped curve. Popularly, it is referred as a bell shaped curve. Next, followed by this, the second property is the normal curve is symmetrical in nature. What do you mean by symmetrical? And where it is symmetrical? It is symmetrical about mean. Please notice here. It is symmetrical where? It is symmetrical about mean. This end towards the right hand side of the mean, the upper portion towards the right hand side of the mean, and the below portion, the lower portion towards the left hand side of the mean, they are equal in area. This particular part is a mirror image of the other part. So, there both of them area is equal. For example, if this is 50%, the other half is also 50%. Okay. So, what is the second property? Normal distribution is symmetrical. Where it is symmetrical? Symmetrical about mean. It is symmetrical about mean. That is indicated with certain beta value, that is beta 1 is equal to 0. Okay. So, the normal distribution is symmetrical about mean. So, that is why where is the mean? It is the highest from where to the next to which all the points will scatter. So, this is the mean. Okay. Next, the third thing is the normal distribution. If you observe this bell curve, the normal distribution, how many peak points are there in this normal curve? In this particular distribution, in this bell shaped curve, there is only one peaked point. Correct? Yes, there are no different, there is any other peaked point like this. Please notice here, somewhere here and like this here. No, like this, no. Only one peaked point is there. That is nothing but, here normal distribution is unimodal. Only one mode is present. What is mode? Highest value among a given set of value. Highest frequency is referred as mode. Okay. So, what is the third property? Normal distribution is unimodal. This is the third important property. Okay, unimodal, only one modal. Another important thing to be noticed here is this normal distribution is mesokurtic. What is meant by mesokurtic? That is nothing but peakedness. Please notice here, some of the curve may look like this, some of them may be like this, some of them may be like this. Okay, so this is platykurtic, mesokurtic, platykurtic. So, what is normal distribution? It is mesokurtic. Okay. So, normal distribution is kurtic. That is mesokurtic means mu 3 is equal to, sorry, mu 2 is equal to 3, beta 2 is equal to mu 2 better, beta 2 is equal to 3, beta 2 is equal to 3. Peakedness is indicated by beta 2. Okay, so mesokurtic beta 2 will be 3. If beta 2 value is greater than 3, then it is fully peaked. The distribution, the curve shape will not be like this. It will be completely peaked. That is, there are 3 different types of curtic: mesokurtic, platykurtic, and leptokurtic. So completely it is leptokurtic. Okay. Similarly, if beta 2 value, if it is less than 3, then it is platykurtic. Okay. But here the normal distribution is mesokurtic. Next, the fifth important thing here is, here we notice that the normal distribution is symmetric in nature. Nothing but symmetric where? Symmetric about mean. Here nothing but, here mean x bar is equal to mod z is equal to median m. That is, mean, mod and median, median, m is median here, let me change it, mean, median and mode, all of them sits in one place. Okay, so that is very, very important. So in normal distribution, mean is equivalent to median is equivalent to mode in normal distribution. Okay, next, sixth one. What is the sixth property? Yes, we know that already, we have studied that normal distribution standard deviation is sigma. Okay, what is standard deviation? Sigma is the standard deviation. If standard deviation is sigma, then what about quartile deviation and mean deviation? Okay, so the quartile deviation is 2 by 3 sigma, which is approximately, not an exact value, it's an approximate value. Okay, so quartile deviation is 2 by 3 sigma, so which we need to refer, it will be asked in other questions. Okay, we need to solve them later. Similarly, what about mean deviation? Mean deviation is 4 by 5 into sigma. This is also an approximated value. This is the sixth property. Followed by this, the seventh property is the normal distribution, or else this bell shaped curve is asymptotic. What do you mean by asymptotic? It means, if you observe this particular tail of the normal distribution, it seems that they are meeting the x-axis, but no, even if this particular tail, if they are extended up till infinity, they won't meet at all. They will be running parallel to the x-axis as if they are going to touch the x-axis, but they are not at all going to touch it. Okay, that's why normal distribution is asymptotic, ASYM is asymptotic, asymptotic to the x-axis, not to y-axis, to the x-axis. Is very, very important, to the x-axis, because it seems that the tails, both the tails of the normal curve, it seems that they are going to touch the x-axis, but no, they will be running without touching them until infinity at both the ends, towards minus infinity and towards plus infinity. Okay, next, the eighth feature property of normal distribution is the curve has points of inflection. The normal distribution curve has points of inflection, Flex, TION, inflection. So what do you mean by inflection? Please notice here this curve. If this curve is observed, please notice here, from here up till here, this particular part, it is convex in nature. It is convex like this, like a convex mirror like this. From here up till here, it is like this. It is concave in nature. From here also, it is like this, concave in nature, concave in nature. So, here where this inflection can be observed at this particular point, where, so in a curve there has a points of inflection. Where will be this particular points of inflection? That is, the inflection point will be mu minus sigma, and the other one is mu plus sigma. At these 2 points you can find the inflection. Okay, at these 2 points you can find inflection. So this is the point of mu, that is mean, that is mode, and median. So from here, if you move towards the negative x axis, there at some distance, that is 1 standard deviation distance, you will be going to find mu minus sigma value, and similarly on towards the upper side you will be going to find mu plus sigma value. So this is the inflection. What is inflection? There is a change in the curve structure, curve nature. At some point it observes like a convex, and some point it observes like a concave. This is inflection. Okay. Next, followed by this. Next, another important thing, the 9th property which will be asked in the exam. Okay. So, regarding for a normal distribution, the odd order moments are equal. Okay. So, the next property is 9th one, for normal distribution, for the normal distribution, the odd order moments are 0. What are the odd order moments? In the first year we have studied moments and skewness, we have studied. Okay. So what is odd order? That is nothing but mu 1 is equivalent to mu 3 is equivalent to mu 4, for mu 4 is mu 5 dash 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 will give you value 0. So this is what odd order means. Similarly, the even order moments are given by a particular value which is not required for an examination. So we will not be studying it. Okay. So let us concentrate only on this. So for the normal distribution, the odd order moments are 0. You need to remember this. That is, mu 1 is equal to mu 3 is equal to mu 5 is equal to mu 7 is equal to mu 9. All of them will be equal to 0. Next, the 9th, now followed by this 10th one, regarding the deviations. Regarding the deviations. What is the 9th one? The quartiles, the 10th one, the quartiles Q1 and Q3. We are very much interested to know what is Q1 and Q3 value, quartile 1 and quartile 3 value. So the quartiles Q1 and Q3 are equidistant from the mean. Okay, from the mean they are equidistant from the mean. So from one another they are equidistant. Please notice here. Let us say this is as the Q1. Okay, so let us consider a bell-shaped curve, normal distribution curve. Okay, if this is the central mu value, mean value, somewhere here let us say this is quartile 1 and somewhere here is quartile 3. So this is what? Quartile 2. Quartile 2 is nothing but median. Median is equal to mean is equal to mode. So what will be the distance from Q1 and Q3? So there is equal distance. So distance from mean to Q1 is same as the distance from mean to Q3. Okay. So another important property here is the quartiles Q1 and Q3 are equidistant from the median, that is Q2 value, and are given by a formula Q1 is equal to mu minus 0.6745 sigma. Okay, sigma. Similarly, what is Q3? Q3 is equal to mu plus 0.6745 sigma. These are very important. Okay, so in the exam they will ask you for 2 marks to find out what is the quartile 1 and quartile 3 value. They will be giving us only either sigma value followed by, sometimes they will also be giving you the mu value, mean value. So we need to identify what is Q1 and Q3. Okay, so this is the formula. Next, followed by this, the very important one, next one is the area under the normal curve. What is the area under the normal curve? Next property. Okay, the area under the normal curve. Here the tail will not be meeting. It seems that they are going to meet the x-axis, but no, they are not going to meet the x-axis. So what is the area under this normal curve? Always, already told, it will be equal to 1 or it will be 100%. Either it will be equal to 1 or it will be 100%. So that is nothing but, if you divide this particular distribution at the median or mean, then the part towards the positive x-axis, positive x-axis towards x-axis, it will be having 0.5. On the left side, it will be having 0.5. So this area is equal to this area. So the complete area under normal curve is 1, or else sometimes we can also refer it as 100%. Okay, so the total area under the normal curve is equal to 1, so that the area towards the right side of the median is 0.5 and the area towards the left side of the median is 0.5. Fine. Okay. With this, I am going to end the video. Thank you.